Yo, what's going on guys? In today's video I want to talk about the Torchlight Infinite. And before anyone asks, no, I have not quit PoE, I'm still gonna play it from time to time. But unfortunately the game is not in the best state right now, so it is actually a perfect time to try out some other games. And I got access to closed beta of Torchlight Infinite, so I decided to give it a shot. And to be honest, I planned to play it for maybe like 2 hours yesterday, but the game actually has been a lot of fun and I ended up playing it for pretty much the entire day, more than 10 hours. So far it's looking pretty good. So what is this game all about? So it is just like Path of Exile, it's an action RPG and it's available both on mobile and PC. So this is the PC version and right now it is in the closed beta and open beta starts on October 12th, and I'm gonna link in the description where you can sign in to get the chance to play in the beta. And yes, this video is sponsored, but I can talk about whatever I want, and so far, like I said, the game actually has been pretty fun. So in this video I want to first of all show you the gameplay, so just how the game plays, and I'm gonna show you all of the character and so on. And then I'm gonna talk about all of these systems, and to be honest, a lot of them are actually very similar to PoE, so they are very easy to understand. And then I also want to talk about monetization, because I know a lot of people are gonna ask me, is this game pay to win? So we are gonna talk about that. So first of all, the classes. So there are two simple classes. So there is a Berserker, which is basic melee character. There is the Ranger, which is again basic just a ranger character, but there are three pretty unique characters. So both of these are kind of like the mages. So there is a Frostfire and Space-Time Witness, and like I said, both of them are kind of like a mage's character, but this one specializes more on elemental damage and this one more on time gimmick, I guess. And the last character is a summoner, and in most of the games, summoners are either necromancers, so they summon skeletons or zombies, or some kind of druids with like animal pets. But this character summons mechs, so basically you summon robots and you also use some kind of gadgets to deal damage. So the character that I actually am playing is the commander. So right now I am at level 49. And I believe I just finished the story mode. So let me show you the gameplay. So like I said, I just finished story mode, so I still have not done any endgame, so I don't know too much about it. But so far, at least in the campaign, it has been pretty fun. And right now, I think I am just doing some quests that are basically giving me some XP before I can access the endgame. So let me show you one of these zones. So these are basically kind of like maps. So like I said earlier, my character is a summoner, which basically means I just summon these robots to deal damage, and I also have two permanent minions. I also have a blink to basically move around, a dark gate to summon my minions to me, and vulnerability to curse enemies so they can take more damage. And the way these minions work is that they are not permanent minions. They only have a certain duration. I believe they last for around a minute, which is actually personally my preferred playstyle in terms of minions. I don't like when minions are like super permanent, because then playing a summoner gets pretty boring. You don't really do that much stuff. But also at the same time, if you have a minion build that just constantly has to summon minions, it's also not my preferred playstyle, because at that point, why you even play summoner if you just constantly have to use skills? So yeah, like I said, this is pretty nice because I have to summon them, but not that often. Here I have a button where after killing certain amount of monsters, you can summon additional monsters with guaranteed loot. So this is a nice system that just encourages you not to just rush boss, like you can see here, but you also have to clear some monsters in a map. So the boss is already dead, and that's basically it. And in terms of loot, there are white items, blue items, purple items, and there are also legendary items. And in fact, we actually have loot filters already, so you can hide certain items. I don't think we can customize loot filters that well yet, maybe in the future, but for now at least you can hide some stuff if you don't want to see certain things on the ground. So yeah, that's basically it in terms of gameplay. And yeah, like I said, it is pretty fun, pretty smooth gameplay. So far I don't have any issues with it. So now let me talk about the progression system. So there are 5 different progression systems. First one is gear. So this is pretty simple, and in fact it actually is also similar to PoE. You have gear which with a base stat, so armor, evasion or energy shield, and then you have some additional modifiers. So in this case I have minion damage, some resistance, kill area. On my chest I have some life, resist and so on. In here I can see all of my resistances which are at 75 and some additional stats. Here you can see your skill stats and defenses and some additional secondary stats. So yeah, that's basically it in terms of gear. Like I said, if I'm gonna play this game for a longer amount of time, eventually I'm gonna make more videos explaining the systems in detail. So for now I just want to give you a quick overview of the gearing system. And second system is skills. So this is also very similar to Path of Exile. We have 5 skills that you can equip, and then these skills have slots for support skills, I guess. So just like in Path of Exile, you would have your main skill and then you would support it with the gems. Here we just choose skills to support them, which is actually very nice because this basically means during the campaign you don't have to worry about finding 3 links, 4 links and so on in terms of items. Gear and skills is completely different system, so you don't have to worry about. It is actually so nice when you actually find a gear that is an upgrade. It gives you more life, more resist, and you can just equip it. You don't have to worry about gem slots on the item. And here you can see all of the possible skills. So there's actually a ton of skills to choose from. And just like in PoE, any class can use any skills. But you might specialize in some of them a bit more. And just as in PoE, you can see here, for example, I have multiple projectiles, which makes my tanks have more projectiles to shoot, and assault command for them to deal more damage. For my golem, I'm using deep wounds for bleed, chance to bleed, and so on. So yeah, again, I'm not gonna go too deep into the system. And here we have additional passive abilities, which are basically auras that reserve some amount of mana. So swiftness gives me movement speed, and I have permanent minions, which also gives me some buffs. So they also reserve some mana. And to get more support gems, you basically need more levels, and then you allocate points to unlock more support skill slots. So this is the second system, which is skills, and here is the third one, which is the talent system. So you would start with just one talent tree that you can choose from a lot of them. Then at level 20 you're gonna be able to choose a second one and then third one, and every level just gives you one additional talent point. So for example, here I have +1 minion skill level from this point, and for example these small give me some minion damage. And after you spend certain amount of points, you can also choose one big point in here. So after 10 I chose 35% attack speed and 100% extra summon skill cast speed. So that's basically it in terms of the talent tree. And a nice thing also about it is that before you reach level 75 you can respec it for free. So basically I can just clear it and no additional cost for clearing it, again up until level 75. And here you can see all of the different talent trees you can choose from. So basically these are different gods that specialize in different things, and so, also they have 4 different talent trees. So like I said, you can only choose 3 of them. So for example, I went for the summoner, so I mostly focused on the summoning trees. But obviously you can probably later figure out some stuff with builds. For example, here is a physical tree, and if your minions are physical, technically some talents that are physical will also increase damage for the physical minions. Same thing with elemental and so on, or projectile. If you have projectile minions, maybe there are gonna be some interesting talents that are gonna increase your minions projectile damage. So that's it in terms of the talent tree. And next one is hero trait. So these are class specifics. So after every a certain amount of levels, you get to choose one additional, I guess, passive here, which is gonna increase your main hero ability, so this ability. So right now I'm at level 50, so I can choose 3 of them. So here I have to go for this one, here I have to go for this one, and here I get to choose between one of these two. And eventually there's gonna be more of them in here. And the last one is the Pact system, which is kind of like a passive tree. So here you have 3 sections. Top left is defensive, top right is offensive, and bottom, I guess, is kind of like a utility. So here I have points that give me some damage and minion damage. Here are some points that give chance to avoid damage, and here are points that give additional drops. And after you spend certain amount of points on the small points, then you can choose medium ones, and then after you spend enough points on them, you get to choose the big ones. And that's basically it in terms of the systems. So now let me talk about monetization. So this is actually a perfect place to start talking about it, because so far the only place I found pay-to-win elements is actually in this system, because we have the pet system in here. So for example, as you can see here, I can switch this passive into a different passive, and this is thanks to the pet that is allocated in here. So you can get to buy these pets, and then you can upgrade them, and these pets, basically depending on which one you get, they will give you a certain amount of points, and they will swap these points into different ones. So like I said, to get these pets, you basically have to buy packs, and these packs are in here, and from these packs you get a random chance for a pet. And also, from what I've read, I couldn't find this anywhere in here, but also I read that these hero traits also sometimes you get from these packs. So this is another pay-to-win system. Other than that, you can buy some outfits, which is not that big of a deal, and also you can buy some additional items like material used to reroll talent points, some revival tokens, and inventory space, which to be honest is not that big of a deal. So if you would ask me, is this game pay to win? Yes, it is, but to be honest, we have 5 different progression systems, and 2 of them are the ones that can be affected by paying for them. But still, if you not pay for them, you can also just progress through them normally, and I don't believe it's gonna be that big of a deal if you're not gonna be paying. If I would prefer for the game to be not pay to win, obviously I would still want this to be the case, but yes, in this case I don't think it's gonna be that big of a deal, especially since the game doesn't have PvP, at least yet, so it's not gonna affect anything like that. So to sum things up, the game is actually pretty fun. I don't think it's gonna be like my main game that I'm just gonna constantly play, but it is gonna be nice to have some secondary game to play from time to time once Path of Exile is pretty boring to play, and I'm definitely gonna be checking it out from time to time. And if I'm gonna like it, I'm gonna try out the end game. I might make some more videos about it. So for now, that's gonna be it. Thanks for watching this video, and see you next time.